yeah, cute self, you know it do. Just look on the net and on YouTube. Laughing babies, kittens by the score. If you want puppies, you can have some more. Well, cute selves, you know it do. Look on the internet and YouTube. Oh, cute selves, you know it do. Look on the internet and on YouTube. But they'll end up owning it, and not you. If it goes viral on YouTube, and cute sells. Cute sells, and it does. And it's that time of year again, Stowe River. It's porch sitting time. Porch sitting, there's houses with porches, and there's nobody sitting on them. It would be a good idea from the National Porch Sitting Foundation to offer your porch up. If you're not sitting on it, somebody will. Brought to you by the National Porch Sitting Foundation. Even if it's just to hear the traffic go by or people run by, porch sitting, it's the thing to do. And well, this is the time of year, week before Memorial Day, where that testosterone of irrational exuberance starts to take over on the hidden side of people's personalities. And you may not think it's there. Some of us have lived such steady lives that, irrational exuberance is something very foreign. It doesn't seem to exist in us. But don't be fooled. It's down there somewhere. If you've buried it and put it away, this is the time of year where it sneaks up on you. There's no hiding it, though, from the graduates and the college kids and the high school kids. Irrational exuberance, testosterone is hitting highs right now. Wild dreams are spacing through people's minds everywhere. Kids and graduates everywhere on the wondrousness of life, going out into the world. What a sense of wonder, what a sense of irrational exuberance. Some of us didn't do that, though. We grew up Methodist or Lutheran or Catholic, and almost all of them. And if we were too serious, when graduation time came, it was a time of droll seriousness. It was time to sign up to become, go to business school, be an accountant or dentistry, or begin your career of law. And seriousness set in. And what happens is it comes up later in life when you least expect it. And Margaret Misnicksy, it happened to her. She grew up in a very steady family who ran a sporting goods store and a restaurant. And when she graduated high school, she already had plans to go into dentistry. She was already signed up the day she graduated. And there was no time for play or irrational exuberance. Considering no possibility that there just might be something else or some things else going to happen. And she hit her 40s. She had 2 kids, her practice, her husband was a lawyer, They lived very staid, beautiful, idyllic lives. They did have a porch on the front lawn of their house, which had a swinging hammock in it and a bench, but nobody ever sat in it. It's one of those people that, you go into their front door, which was only for salesmen and evangelists. So, and it was just running in and out of the house in passing. That was their marriage. And late one night, there was this exuberant pink full moon. It had this rose tint to it, and the air was still, and the crickets just came out. And she went out and got up, made herself some tea, and decided to go out and sit on the porch. Porch sitting is a dangerous thing. And she sat on the bench and thought about her life. The tape, the mental DVR started to play in her mind, and she went through the whole series of her whole life, and she thought about people she knew, friends she knew from high school, those who took off to spend the summer in Costa Rica in the rainforest, on the West Coast, doing music and buskering, playing music on the streets, and working on a fishing boat, and all these exciting things came to her mind. And the old, tired, dry jeans started to click into place. The synapses started to fire in that little dead zone in your brain there. That's where it hides. That's where that irrational exuberance hides. And it'll come out. One day it will come out. And it came out for her. And she went out and decided to take a road trip, just herself, for 2 weeks. She rode down south to North and South Carolina. She stopped in Asheville, North Carolina, walked into a cafe, and then walked into a music hall and heard some Southern Appalachian bluegrass and old-time music, and the music took her. It just took her away to a whole different world. And she stayed down there more than 2 weeks. She stayed down there 4 weeks. And she walked into a music store and she bought a banjo, which is also a very, very dangerous thing. If you have repressed irrational exuberance, the last thing you want to do is buy a banjo, because that is the symbol of irrational exuberance in music. And that did it for her. She came back home and she practiced and bought these old vinyl records, and she met some girls down south. She was sitting on a bench playing her banjo. The next year she was sitting down south playing on the banjo or rehearsing some tunes, and 2 other women came up to her and said, "Hey, you want to jam?" She said, "Sure." And they did. And a record producer walked up and heard them and said, "Hey, how'd you like to make a record?" And that was that. She left dentistry. She travels around now doing shows, and she brings her kids with her sometimes. Spring, irrational exuberance. Little do you know what it can do when you least expect it. And Port City, the thing to do, even with all the traffic going by.